From the holy mind, pride. I swear I never thought it would matter if I'm gone by now. All my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on trying till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. In the heat from my hot California, I forgot how you look like in rain. I swear I never thought it would matter if I'm gone by now. All my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. All the memories just lingers on repeat like it is never gonna stop. I can't help myself from feeling all alone, but you got me good, but you got me good.
Hey everyone, wow, welcome. We are on guest number 2 for Straight Talk with Sally podcast batching day. I'm so excited to have you all joining us. If this is your very first time here inside the Sparkle world, make sure you comment new below because we love to welcome new people into the Sparkle world. We do podcast batching day on the third Friday of every month, and you may be asking yourself, well, it's not the third Friday. That's because I was in a conference last week and we had to bump it a week. We roll with it here in the Sparkle world as well. Hey, we have a new person in the Sparkle world. Hi, Kelby. Hey, welcome to the Sparkle world. And it looks like you're in Canada. You love our countdown window. Well, thank you. If you want to know more about our countdown timer and how we make all these fancy stuff happen, you need to go and watch the interview I just did with Doc Rock. We have amazing guests lined up for you today for Straight Talk with Sally. So this morning we spoke with Doc Rock, well, afternoon, evening, depends on where you are in the world. He was so good. Like Doc Rock and I, we both love purple, where we geek out on tech and graphics and typography and all the fun stuff. And next up, we have got Johann joining us, which I'll introduce you to him very soon. And then later on, we're going to be talking about delegation, which to me, it's one of the best words as a business owner is to learn how to delegate. But this session is all about Johann. Now, let me tell you, if you want to make sure that you do not miss a single live event that we run in here, whether it's our podcast days, our teaching, our boot camps and trainings, we do lots of things here live. Yay, somebody already knows who Louise is. Well, hang on in because she's coming up real soon. Go to this one right here, sparkleclassacademy.com/calendar. You can subscribe to the calendar. It will show up in your own Google Calendar in your own time zone. So you never have to miss any of our live events. So make sure you head there. But after this episode, if you're joining us live. So stay on in. Let me know where in the world you're joining us from. Ma's super excited for this. I'm so excited to have Ma here. She's our podcast manager. She's been doing all the things in the background to make our guest line up so awesome that you are going to have so much value from this whole day for our podcast batching day. Now, let me introduce you to our guest today on Straight Talk with Sally. His name is Johann. We're friends. We just spent the last week up on the Gold Coast together. He spent his entire career solving problems and fixing businesses. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who need help with their businesses. He's discovered the power of systemization, and that's why we get on so well. And he leveraged this in his early 20s, where he built his very first business, and this knowledge allowed him to grow not only his business, but also his clients as well. Now, for the last 20 years, his team and the technology that he has set up allows him to grow and scale other people's companies at rapid pace. And I can't wait to introduce you to Johann. Welcome, Johann, to Straight Talk with Sally.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. And today we're going to be talking about scaling with hyper growth. But before we dig into that, I'd love for you to let our viewers know, who you are and, what have been the things that have got you to where you are today.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. So the main point, the trigger, the switch that happened from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you read that book?
Oh my God, it's a Bible. I literally bought it for my daughter and I said, you have to read this. Exactly. And it's sitting on my husband's bedside table. I've been trying to get him to read it for a long time, but he still hasn't read it. But it is a Bible.
I was reading this book and I went, oh my God, I'm going to be an employee the rest of my life. I need to get on that side of the column. I need to be a business owner. And so, back in the day, we're talking 2004, I went to start a business online. Back then, we'd go to Google and go, make money online. And that's what led me on the start of this journey. And I discovered eBay back then. eBay is the equivalent of what Amazon is right now. Everybody's jumping on Amazon, doing fulfillment by Amazon. I did that on eBay. So I started a little eBay business. The little eBay business made more money than my bosses did in 6 months. And I was working 4 hours a week. People thought I was a drug dealer because I was meant to be on a scholarship on 20 grand a year, and I'm walking around. Anyway, it was good. It was a good life, and so I built 6 more of these eBay businesses.
Yeah,
they're all drop shipping, etc. My mother runs these businesses now, so
they're still running to this day,
and I've not touched them. That's the
awesome.
Power of setting something up properly and letting it just continue to do what it needs to do. So after that, I got into affiliate marketing. So do you know what affiliate marketing is?
Yeah.
We started doing affiliate marketing for Ticketek. So when the Pink concert came out, when the Michael Jackson concert came out, we were affiliates of theirs. And so we would go and buy media space all over the internet. Mm-hmm. And when people clicked on that and they bought a ticket, we'd get a clip of the ticket. So that's affiliate marketing. And you can imagine on the Pink concert, on Michael Jackson, unfortunately, what happened there with him.
Yeah.
And after that, cost per acquisition marketing evolved, so CPA. Mm-hmm. So we got into there because with affiliates, you have to make a sale in order to get paid. With cost per acquisition, all you have to do is generate interest. So we started doing it for the banks. So as a hypothetical, Commonwealth Bank credit card application. You type those words into Google. What are you looking for? A Commonwealth Bank credit card application. And so when you click on that and you fill out the form, somebody was getting paid $200, but it cost me $6 to put that ad up on Google, and there were 1,800 searches every month. So
Wow.
again, systems and leverage, right? We're
Yeah.
leveraging their brand, we're leveraging their assets, and we've put up an ad with their credibility. All we've done is put it in the right place at the right time with the right message, going, are you looking for a Commonwealth Bank credit card application? Click here. They'd click, they'd fill it out, we get paid.
I
Easiest
love
money ever.
that. I mean, you definitely did better than me on eBay. So I did eBay where one day I sold a chocolate mold for like $24, right? And it cost me like $1 to buy this chocolate mold. And I
Yep.
thought to myself, whoa, spend $1, make 24. I'm going to be rich. And
Yep.
the next thing I know, I'm the second largest chocolate mold supplier on eBay,
Amazing.
and not great because you spend $1, make $2 or $3 is what the average going cost is for a chocolate mold, and I spent all day packaging chocolate molds.
Right.
And then eventually I was like, and I don't even eat chocolate, right?
No. Really?
Yeah, I just saw the money. And then later on, I realized that that very first chocolate mold was for a wedding. No wonder they paid $24 because they really wanted it, and brides do crazy things. But then I also got into drop shipping as well, and I was buying through people like Everton and other like cookware places and some of the other people online. But what I didn't like about it personally was I was just the complaints department in the middle when something went wrong. So I kind of let all of that go, but I got very good at eBay, and that was early 2000s, right? When the whole, and then it was it was my stepping stone into the online space, and lots of things for me have changed since then. But listening to the fact that you're still running those businesses now, I'm like, whoa, and your mum's looking after them, because
No,
I've
no, no,
seen
not me. I've literally not touched it since 2010. That's just
that's
all her.
awesome. And you were able to hand it over. See, where I never really discovered the power of team and outsourcing until after. So it took me a little bit longer to realize that I need to, hire people and outsource things. Maybe I would have kept going, but I love that, those things, and you found ways to find out what's the cost per acquisition, what can I make, what's the difference, set it up, and then let the systems do it. That's really cool. Yeah.
How the actual inception of my eBay experience was, I bought an engagement ring. Now
Yeah.
this engagement ring cost me, I think it was $10,000, because at that point in time I was making 20,000 a year on this scholarship, and everybody had told me you need to spend half your money on an engagement ring. Now, being young and dumb, it's like, oh, okay, well, half of 20 is 10. So I went to the jeweler. I went, hey, I've got 10 grand. What can I get? And he's like, oh, look at this sucker. Just walk right in the door. All right, cool. So he sells me this ring, and then I paid it off in 3 installments. On the third installment, after I got it, I see this ad, and this ad said, the diamond engagement ring, and it was pretty much exactly the one I bought, $1,000. And I was, no, actually, it was just slightly less. And I went, I think it was like 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah.
And I go to him, I bought it because I'm like, nah, I got ripped off. So I take it to him. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this ring? He's like, I'll give you $5,000 for it. I'm like, oh, wow, that was like an easy $1,000. That's what it was. And he's like, yeah. So I took that money, went back, bought all this other stuff, came back to him and said, what do you want? And he's like, I'll take this, this, this. So I was buying it off this website at 90% off. It still exists. It's called bidz.com. It's America's like wholesale of jewelry. So you go on there, you buy the things 90% off, you come back on eBay and you sell it at 50% off. I realized I was making more money selling it on eBay than selling it to him.
Yeah.
And so that's how the eBay thing started.
Yeah.
And then how I got into affiliate marketing was this company said, oh, now if you send us traffic, we'll pay you 15% commission. Now I don't have to hold stock. At this point in time, mind you, I was carrying about $200,000 worth of stock. And so remember I said people thought I was a drug dealer? I had this duffel bag with me that never left my side because I was living in a shared house with other students, and I couldn't leave the bag just lying around with all the jewelry in there.
Yeah.
So this bag was always with me. So now I didn't have to spend money on inventory. All I had to do was go to Facebook. Now 2007, Facebook came out.
Yep.
And I put up an ad, said anybody who's in a relationship for 3 years, male, show them this ad. Diamond rings, 90% off. And they'd click on it, and it was costing me 20 cents for the click.
Yep.
was making me on average $150 per click because
Oh,
they'd go and spend $1,000 at that website.
yes. Oh, I love numbers, sexy numbers. You get me all excited. Cost per acquisition, cost per lead, cost per click, all the sexy words.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's the inception of how it all started.
Yeah, it's funny when we start to look at the math and we can see if we, mess with the numbers and what can we do with very little effort, or what can we set up that then can look after itself. We definitely spend a lot of time working on one thing and dialing it in to make it as profitable as we can before we add other things. But yeah, the sexy numbers is the thing, right, that allows us to make informed decisions. So I love it. You're talking numbers. It gets me excited.
I love talking numbers.
I know. Oh, that's probably why we get on so well. And also we're, we love inspiring and helping people as well. So here's some questions for you. So our topic today is around, let me just bring up the topic, which is, so I didn't update it. Hang on, because we changed the topic. This is what we call imperfect action at its best, where we fix things as we go. So we're going to do that. So it looks good. They can edit it in post. Move that out of the way. And this is actually our topic.
Yay! Woo.
Yay! Woohoo! So, how Fortune 500 companies scale with hyper growth. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, Johann, tell me, what are some lessons you have learnt from scaling a company to $20 million in 4 years? I'm sure there's some valuable knowledge bombs you can drop there.
Awesome, for sure. So we started a company. Now this is back in 2012, and we struggled like crazy at the start for the first 2 years because we were trying to sell technology to everybody. And these guys come along and they're like, hey, did you know how valuable your technology is? I said, I don't know what you mean. They're like, how about you partner up with us? And at this point in time, my business partner who we'd been working on this with, we had 30 clients. And, he's like, hey, I'm retiring. I'm going to buy the company from me. I'm like, all right, I'll buy the company. So I bought the company. And then the next day I get this call going, we've been trying to copy your technology. We can't do it. What's it going to take to buy you out or partner with you? I'm like, why are these people interested in partnering with me? Let me go check it out. So I sit down at this table and I'm sitting down with these guys who their last company that they built is a $1.2 billion company. So I'm like, holy moly, how did I find myself at this table? This is incredible, right? Well done. Pat on the back for myself. So we sit down and they go, okay, explain to us how all this technology works and blah, 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 blah. And I said, we can do this. Plus there was like 1,000 things that I'd built in there, which I didn't even advertise. And they're like, oh my God, do you know the value of this? I said, no. And at this point in time, embarrassingly, we were charging $2,500 a year for this software. They go, we're going to partner up and we're going to start selling this for $50,000 a year. And I was like, what? I go, you're crazy. I'm like, anyway. So we had a conversation. They're like, no, show us. And then with numbers, they go, show me the numbers. I'm like, yeah, we save on average a building $3 million a year in paper costs by having our mobile app technology. And they're like, do you think the building's happy to pay $50,000 now? I'm like, yeah, of course. They'd be silly not to. So that was the start of it. And then on the back of that, so so let's talk about how we scaled it. First, we had a beautiful brand, like visual, we needed people to look at it and go, I want to be part of that. And so our brand represented everything that was in the industry at that time. It was green because there was a green revolution going on. The tagline said, creating smart cities, one building at a time. So everybody wanted to be part of the smart city revolution. And this is 2014. And so everybody wanted to, as soon as they saw just our logo and our tagline, they wanted to be part of what we were doing. And it would get us in the door. Like, when has a logo and a brand opened up doors for you? It was designed with intent. Then we realized all of the collateral, everything that we used to talk about before, our meetings used to go for an hour. And most of it, we were talking about us and how great we were, but nobody cared about us. So we cut it straight down to the numbers. This is what it is. This is how it's going to help you. This is how much money extra it's going to put in your pocket. And this is our guarantee. And our guarantee was, in 6 months, if we don't put $50,000 back into your pocket, we will then pay you back and we'll work with you until it happens. So it was an irresistible offer.
Oh,
So we did that. So now, on average, most of these guys they were making an extra $300,000 to $400,000 a month because of our technology. So once they became a partner, they were very happy. And then on the back end of that, now let's talk about the next strategy that we went to, a building. We've all seen buildings. If you look at a building in a different way, look at a building as a database. Now, different buildings, different values, different databases. So some of our buildings, the apartments in there are $1.5 million just to be in there, right? So it's a high value database. And so now we had the banks coming to us going, you have your mobile app in that building. Can we put a button on there saying refinance your mortgage? Or
ah,
can we get your credit cards? And we'll give you a clip on that. So that's how all these other deals started happening where we'd add value. We'd never ever push anything in your face. We wouldn't say, hey, Sally, you need to get a credit card. Sally would look at it and go, oh, cool. They've got refinancing for my credit card or for my mortgage. Yeah, I'll check that out. Click, fill out a form. 2 seconds later, somebody called you. Yeah, let's get it done. And it's all done very easily.
yeah,
So using those strategies, we had all these different back end ways because you make money on the back end. On the back end, we used to make between $300,000 to $500,000 per building. So now we were selling a $50,000 a year product, plus making $300,000 to $500,000 on the back end. So
yeah.
that's how we quickly scaled to 20 million. And then there's a couple more
Love that.
strategies which I'll go into, but I'll let you talk for a second.
Yeah, yeah. I love that you've brought in partners and affiliates and all the things so that you can make those partnerships work for you and they're able to tap into your list and do all the things. And it started with being around the right types of people. Like
100%.
sitting at that table with brilliant minds. I always say I want to be the smartest dumb person in the room, right?
Yeah.
I want people around me that are making more than me, that are smarter than me, so I can kind of, be a sponge, right? But then that opportunity came forth and you went for it, right? You could have sat back. What a lot of people would do is say, oh, that's great, and then be scared off by all the things that need to happen. But you went forth and you did the things. And the branding with intent,
Yep.
the green wave that was happening back then as well. We thought that we were going to have paperless offices back then, right? That was the goal. I mean, it's never happened, but that was a huge part of branding the right thing based on the current market and the situation as well, which I saw very, very valuable.
And it's
And of
actually
course,
created now in the industry, if any building ever goes up, it does need to have a building management system and a mobile app built into
yeah,
the building because it creates community cost efficiencies it's just overall much more beneficial for the entire community.
yeah,
Another strategy that we did was we turned our competitors into our allies. Now, how did we do this? Well, in a building, and you can extrapolate this to whichever one you want, whatever business. There's 5 main types of software that you need to have that runs the building, or 5 components. So we went up to one of them and I said, hey, is it okay if I sell your product? Because you and we're both going to go see the same people. Now, there was about 3,000 of our clients there, ideal clients in our space in Australia, of which 200 are our top ideal clients. Like, those are the people who we can make the most impact on, who get the most amount of benefit from our technology. So I said, this is my list. This is who I'm going after. Would you like me, when I go and talk to so-and-so, to talk about your product? And they said, why would you do that? We're competitors. I said, no, we're not competitors. I see it as a beneficial way to leverage our time, and I'll pitch your stuff. And then eventually you're going to see the value and go, hey, I'll pitch Johan stuff too. Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it. Prove it to us. And so I started doing that. And I went and I did it. And then these guys started getting clients. And then they're like, oh, this guy's actually genuine and doing what he said he'd do. And then there was 5. I went to the second one and I said, hey, can I pitch your stuff? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, when I go, I'm pitching my offering and this guy's offering. Can I pitch your thing too? Let me show you. And I did that. Now, the other 3 came begging, can they be part of this? And
yeah,
so now, when we'd go in, it doesn't matter whether it's my sales force or somebody else's sales force. Everybody's pitching everybody else's as one complete solution, which makes the end user have a great experience because they're only dealing with one company,
yeah,
either of them. And they have one great unified experience where everything happens seamlessly. And so that created, you know, 5 companies coming together as one. Everybody's sales forces united, and everybody started working together.
Collaboration, right? Working smarter, we're coming together. And I mean, the community that we met each other in, we all sell the same stuff, not the same, but same software, right? We integrate the software into all of our various programs. But what I love about it is we're not competing against each other, even though we're all selling the same stuff or the software, because the marketplace is big enough for all of us to exist. And it's that abundance mindset that really sets us apart. And, you know, I have people that come into our program that teach what I teach. That's fine. If they're going to put in the legwork and the hours to set themselves up a business, go forth, be profitable, love on your people.
Yep.
And if you have that abundance mindset, you've never really got competition.
Correct.
That's, you know, a huge part of what we truly believe in: good karma, pay it forward. And the world is big enough for us all to be successful. And before we came live here, we were actually talking about how amazing that community, the Keep community, is for those of us that are actually certified partners, because we're all giving each other ideas. We're all helping each other. We're all running similar marketing strategies sometimes and sharing our knowledge and skills so we can all be successful together. And I think in business, it can be super lonely if you feel that you're competing against everybody rather than collaborating. So I think that's beautiful what you've created there.
Thank you.
So tell me, I mean, you've done amazing things. You've got some amazing systems set up. Tell me about some of the mistakes that you made growing this business, looking back on, that you think, oh, you know, that's something I've learnt from.
Perfect. So one of the biggest mistakes, which I tell all the people who come to us and, you know, want to build and grow and scale their businesses and things, is giving away too much equity in your company.
Right.
So I ended up giving away 80%. And so by the time you give away 80% and you've got a board of people where you have a vision and you've got all these other people now trying to tell you how to do what you need to do, but you're like, that's not going to work because, well, I know how it's going to, it's sort of, you know, before everything was running well.
Yeah.
And this is the direction we're going. And then you're stuck in meetings and you're going to do this, which is all fine. It's part of life. But by giving up so much equity, the passion sort of started to fade. That's my story.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so because... Yeah,
was it just because there then become too many ideas people as well? Was that really...
So yes. So it's more, people weren't aligned. So when people are not aligned with the same vision, that's where cracks start to happen. And so once the cracks start to happen, and if you don't address it, and if you don't solve it straight there and then, the cracks get bigger and bigger. Excuse me. Back. So one of the things that we have in all my other companies is, as soon as there's one little tiny hint of discomfort about anything, you speak up and you talk about it, and we solve it right now. We never let anything fester. We don't let anything. We never go to bed, you know, upset or anything like that. You know, similar rules to being married.
Yeah.
That way, everything is clear. And by having clarity and transparency, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
There's no hidden agendas and things like that, because everybody knows what you're doing, when you're doing it, why you're doing it, and what you need to get there. And everybody backs you. And so I call it the 300 concept. You know, we feel like sometimes we're taking on these big, giant, you know, companies. But if you've got your 300 people behind you, you can take on the world.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't have that many. I like my little group of 12. I like the little crack thing, because we went through I haven't sold it, but we had some sort of festering things going on in the background that I wasn't aware of. And every year we come together as a team and we write our values together, so we're all on the same page. So there's the forward facing, you know, values that the world sees, but our team also, every year we reassess and rewrite our values so we're all on the same page together. And a huge one of those is no bullshit. When somebody is maybe talking about another staff member and, having a bit of a whinge bitch session with them, the person who's listening has to say these words. Are you going to tell them or am I? Because we don't want that water cooler rubbish happening in the background. It needs to be spoken about. So it's okay for people to vent, but the person listening has to remember those things, because otherwise we'll end up where only a tiny team. I had, I think, 9 team members back then. I lost 3 in the matter of 2 weeks. So you can imagine the workload that myself and Kat had to take on. Then I went into like, oh, poor me mode and went dark for like a couple of weeks. And so and it was from one person doing things we didn't know about, and nobody actually came forth and said, are you going to tell them or am I? And so that is now built into our team. Because, especially when you're running a team and not just a solopreneur, there has to be an alignment, and you can teach systems, processes, ways of doing things. You can't teach values. They've either got it or they haven't. They either align to our business or not. So we're very mindful that if we do feel now that some alignments aren't quite there, we're very the hardest thing with me is letting people go, because I want to love on everyone. I think as a business owner, I don't know about you, but I hate that part. Like, I like the person and I don't want to hurt the person, but I know from the business as a whole, you've got to let people go. Like, as somebody who runs large organizations, how do you deal with that side of business, because they're still humans, right, on the other side?
100%. Until this year, my wife used to joke with me. She said she calls all my people Johann's misfits, because I'd find the most random people and put them into positions and go, I'm going to help you excel, and I'll drag them to the podium and be like, look how amazing this person is. And then what changed was I went, oh wow, I'm spending so much time and energy dragging people to the top so that they can shine and they can be their best selves. And I'm putting so much time, energy, and effort into them. And then she said, but look on this side. You've got the most amazing people already here. Why not hire them? I'm like, oh. And then I started hiring only A players, bringing in only A players into the company. And the company started going like this, because I didn't need to train them. They knew what job they had to do. They'd get it done. They'd probably get it done, but way better than I could. That's the best part about it. And so then this year, I've got a, only A players rule. And I know it's a bit harsh compared to what I used to be. I was big, big giant softy. I just wanted to make sure everybody in the world was looked after, and your circumstances, etc. Let me give you a chance to shine. But now, because of the time, like, all of our time is so limited on this planet, and there's so much that we have to achieve. Everybody is different. There's so much that I would like to achieve before my time is up, that I need to just accelerate my timeline. And so the only way I can do that is by having proper foundations, the proper team who can get it done.
Yes, that's everybody listening. That's a huge lesson there. Same as like where people try to buy cheap and nasty software, right? Because they just want to do it cheap. Then you've got to relearn and, migrate and all the things. Same with your team. And I actually did a training earlier this year with a guy called Ryan Levesque, and he was teaching about hiring, and he brought it down to the numbers, which really, made me even more fascinated with, hiring people for less, but then you spend so much time training them, where you can hire a person for a quarter of the amount of time. Sure, you pay 4 times more, but you don't actually need them for full time, because they can get it done in quarter of the amount of time. And that was a huge eye opener for me. There is a type of style of hiring. I can't remember what it's actually called. Kat probably knows if she's watching. But it's rather than hiring, because I was always worried about, hiring these, A players, and the price point on them always concerned me. And then when I realized that if they can do it well and do it in less of the time, they're actually cheaper than the cheaper people.
Yep.
And you're not wasting your time training them. So it's such a valuable lesson to think future. You know, everything's a trade-off of time or money. And if you've got to give your time to train just to save some money, where you could be doing sales calls that are making you, you know, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, but you're spending time training your team member, you're missing out on opportunities to grow and scale. So really valuable lesson there. Thank you for sharing. All right.
That's it.
So my next question for you is, why does every business owner need, because you're about building empires, why do you feel that everyone needs to build an empire?
Awesome. Cool. So let's take a look at the situation we've been in the last couple of years, right? Governments are there to manage things, but they do a bad job at it.
Always
Like
fighting.
we won't get into the political stuff, but you know, we can all agree that that's true. But who changes the world? And it's business owners, and that's at the core. That's what I believe. If when a business owner has an idea, when they bring it to market, when they create impact, when they, you know, business is an exchange of value. The reflection of your bank account is a reflection of the amount of value that you're adding into the marketplace. And so the more value you get to add to the marketplace, the bigger the bank account. The bigger the bank account, the more people you can employ. The more people you can employ, the better those people's lives are. So I believe that every one of the people in our organization, we pay them more than they would get out in the open market. Why? Because I want them to be completely stress-free and focus on what they need to do. What this does is then their kids are grown up in a stress-free environment, as much as it can be, right? So kids, when they're grown up in a stress-free environment, they automatically become innovative. The innovative children, they become leaders, and then they change the world. And so by building your empire and employing as many people as you can, you're helping so many people, not only in your community, and now our community is worldwide because we can employ anyone all over the world. You're changing their lives, you're changing their children's lives, you're changing their legacies. And so it's on you. If you don't wake up, if you don't do this, you know, they don't get to do that. They're going to go do something else, which is probably not going to have the same amount of impact. So, you know, creating an empire, as vague as a term of that is, because everybody's definition of empire is different. It's do your best, wake up, have the most fun, surround yourself with the most amazing people. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, actually, and her father grew up and he was a tycoon in the 80s. And she was telling me about how ruthless it was, and it was dog eat dog world and all of this kind of stuff. And I said, wow, that's a gone era, because now it's not dog eat dog world. Now it's collaboration. Now we can, by the way, it can be. People can choose to live in that reality, or you can choose to live in, hey, we're all working together to create a better future, whatever that looks like. And this is our vision. Come join us. Anybody who's a dog eat dog, get the F out. You don't belong in this. You don't belong here. See you later.
Yeah. So empire is really that ripple effect, right? It's rippling out from you to your employees, to their family, and then the generations to come. Empire legacy also came to mind as well while you were speaking, is, you know, and I think I love that. I mean, and we can't all be business owners and leaders, because who would work for us? But within our organizations, creating leaders in there that maybe don't necessarily want to be the entrepreneur, the top, but an intrapreneur. They're the people I'm looking for. Those that, because I hired entrepreneurs for a while, but I always found that they were always looking for the next thing. So now I need intrapreneurs. Those that don't want to build their own, but they want to build somebody else's business is definitely the thing. But yeah, I love that. That's really that ripple effect with when empire to you is helping others to help themselves, to help their kids. And just beautiful.
The first GM that I hired, he told me point blank on the first day, he said, just so you know, I'm planning on learning everything from you, and in a year I'm going to go start my own company. I said, fantastic. I welcome it. Let me teach you as much as I can so that you can go and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because I will support you in that venture. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So anyway, a year comes, and I'm like, hey, you want to go start that other company? He's like, no, no, it's too hard. I'm just, I'm just gonna just do, what we got to do here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the decisions aren't easy, and we've got to make them very quick as well. And sometimes they fail as well, right? We lose. Sometimes when we risk big, we lose big as well. And I think there's a certain skill set. Like lots of people want to be business owners, and I'll say my dad's a business owner, but he's definitely not an entrepreneur. He still works in his business, works
Yep.
way too many hours, doesn't think about how can I build this to sell this either. How can I step out of it? Like the thing wouldn't run without him.
Yep.
That's a huge lesson I learned. Like I don't want to be him.
That was my reality 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
when I first hooked up with my wife, like she was my girlfriend then, she came over and we just started dating. And she came over with a picnic basket and she said, hey, let's go. And at this point in time, I was working out of my house with like 5 people working in my house. And it was like a boiler room. Like we were just building away and, we were running the office in the house. And she'd come over. She's like, let's go for a picnic. I'm like, have you looked around? Like everybody's working. What do you mean go on a picnic? And so she goes, okay, I'll see you. I'm going to go on the picnic. She comes back a week later. Like we'd seen each other at nights and stuff. Comes back a week later. She goes, let's go for a drive down the Great Ocean Road. I'm like, I thought you were a business owner. You're obviously not a business owner because you just never work. Like, what are you doing? I go, I've got a business to run. She's like, man, I thought you were a business owner. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, you're self-employed. I'm like, oh my God. That's where I had to systemize everything.
Yes, systems. They're the words of, they're beautiful, beautiful words. All right. Well, look, we dug into that, but we always have sparkle questions that we like to ask. So I would love you to share with me what's one common myth about your profession that you would like to debunk?
Myth about my profession.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had that question before. I'm stumped. Lead me. Give me some. Give me
Okay,
some.
so what are some things that people might think are easy or hard that maybe aren't easy or hard?
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. So, putting companies together, doing deals. I'm sorry, Sal. This throat
Yeah.
is really tickly. Can you give me 30 seconds? I'm going to get
Sure
another
thing. This
bottle
is
of
the
water.
great thing about live. We can totally fix this. I can
Awesome.
just sit here and chat to my peeps.
Let's do that. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
All good, all good. See, this is what we call going live and just rolling with it. So Johann's going to go off and fix his voice. But for those who are out there on the live stream right now, like, let me know, what type of business are you trying to build? Do you want to stay small and just you? Okay. Or are you somebody who is maybe wanting to grow a small but mighty team? Or are you thinking big empire, hundreds of people? So let us know in the chat, what is the type of business for you? Now, you all know I love my little boutique. I love my boutique style business. Johann likes lots and lots of employees. Everybody will grow a business that they enjoy. And I'm finding this super fascinating from somebody who likes to hire lots of people, where I love small but mighty. He's back. Here he is. Hey.
I'm back. Thank you.
That's okay. You know, this is a live stream. We can edit. We can do all the things.
It's all good. So you asked me, what do most people think is hard?
Yeah.
Buying and selling companies. It's one of my passions. It's what I love. And most people go, wow. My friends actually make fun of me. They're like, oh, another company. Yeah, cool. What month is it? And it's because when you see so I'll give you an example. I met a friend, and this guy interviewed me on his podcast 4 years ago. And then he kept calling me up going, hey, can we do business together? I'm like, no. And this went on for 4 years. And then last year, April, I went to the Gold Coast and caught up with him. And I'm like, what are you doing? Tell me, you've been wanting to catch up. So he sits down and he tells me about all his companies that he's got. And he built 7 different companies. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, but not oh my God in a good way. Oh my God, like, how are you doing that with such limited resources, right? And he's like, but he built the most amazing things. And I said, okay, well, did you know that this connects to this connects to this connects to this? He's like, what? Oh my God, I never saw that. I'm like, go try this out. Sell it with this offer. So crafting the right offer, that's something that's one of the most undervalued things that people don't know, crafting the right offer. So he takes this offer that I created, goes and comes back 2 weeks later. He goes, Johan, I made 200 grand selling that. I'm like, yay. He's like, will you be my business partner? I'm like, no. I'm like, if, I'd just do what I told you to do on that napkin. Just go follow that thing. Anyway, he kept persisting and we ended up becoming business partners. And now we're scaling and growing the company like, there's no tomorrow. So the easy thing was to look at somebody else's company, show them all the value. And then in every company, you need 3 people, which most people miss. You need an artist who is the doer, the one who's creating and the one who loves the beauty of the thing, whatever the thing is. Then you need the deal maker. The deal maker is out there doing deals all the time, opening up doors, BDM type role, but bigger.
Yep.
And then the third person is the manager. And the manager's role is to manage the two, because the artist is always
visionary,
no,
right?
Not ready yet. No, we can't show it to you. Wait, I'm still tinkering. Wait, no, I don't want to show it. And the deal maker's like, just show them the basic MVP version. Yeah, come on, let's go. And then the manager has to manage them and then manage the teams. If you have these 3 people in a company, everything works swimmingly. And the company can grow and scale very quickly. Now we have different roles to play in different companies. So in one of my companies, this one, Business Authorities, I'm the artist. I will never ever sell the company. I will never, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to every communication that goes out. And I will sit there and write an email for 2 hours pondering, is it the right thing? Whereas with my other company, it's, hey guys, we're going live. Let's go. In 2 minutes, because I'm the deal maker in that company. So depending on which company, your role changes.
Yeah, I find, well, I've never bought other people's companies, so it's very interesting that you are going around and buying and making money from other companies. It's not something that I've ever considered. Like, I invest in things. I invest in my business, but then I like property and like the Forex market and, that type of stuff. That's what I do. Everyone finds their own, the right side of the rich dad, poor dad side, the investing in the business. Well, for me anyway, my husband's the employee, but that's fine. But yeah, I love how, it's intriguing to me because it's nothing that I've ever considered, but you actually do go out and intentionally look for companies to.
So even with the building company, we wanted to put our technology into more real estate. And so we realized, who else needs our technology? And it was schools. So in the schools, there was this redundant visitor management system. So we went and we bought the visitor management system company, because now that gave us access to all of the schools. And then through the schools, then all the schools implemented our other things, so we could upsell and cross-sell them into our other technology. And so we started going and buying up all these other software companies, which we could then plug into our parent company. And acquiring all the databases and upselling and cross-selling, therefore increasing the valuation.
Wow. It makes me think of like tags and squiggly lines and all the things in automation, right? Like putting all the pieces together so that they all talk to each other. And yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, here's another question for you. What is one book that you've read that's been a huge inspiration to you?
Unlimited Wealth by Paul Zane Pilsner, 1996.
Yeah.
It talks about how no matter where you go, there is gold lying around everywhere. And all you have to do is just stop to pick it up. And the concepts were foreign to me back then. I didn't understand the book. But I was like, how can this guy say that there's gold everywhere? And so there's opportunity in everything, and everybody is struggling. Every business is struggling. And Jay Abraham came along soon after that, and I went, oh, because he goes, I charge $25,000 an hour. And I went, how can one man charge $25,000 an hour? What can he possibly know to charge 25 grand an hour? I want to know what he knows. So I started researching everything that he does.
Yeah.
And fair enough, now, 25 years later, people pay me 25 grand an hour just to come in and look at their businesses and stuff because
Yeah.
I modeled what he does. And basically, he goes in and he fixes the systems. He look at a business and go, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. Fix this, tweak this, change that, and you're going to get this result. I'll give you an example. Hey, Sally. Hello, Johan. Hello, unknown user.
Yeah, hello unknown. There's a link above or below this video on Facebook that you click on it so we actually know who you are. So go and have a read the description.
So I'll give you an example. We build a lot of platforms in one of my other companies, and platforms and mobile apps. And this couple had come to us, and their vision, their dream was to turn this app that they want to build into a company that generates $1.5 million. And that was their 2-year goal or 3-year goal. So we sat down, we took them through a certain exercise, through a workshop. It was a 4-hour workshop. And by the end of it, the husband is the critical thinker, the skeptic, the what am I sitting here for? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And his wife is the visionary and the big picture person. And so we're sitting down and we get them to calculate out on the thing on the screen on the what do you call it, the whiteboard. And so they're calculating. I said, okay, they've got 1.5 as their goal. I said, okay, now, dude, get up there, you start calculating, and by the end of it, they walked out with a business plan that's going to generate them 19.7 million. Right? And he was sitting there trying to mess with it, trying to break it, we had worst case scenarios and everything. We helped him with his perfect offer. He presented it to a symposium that he went to. He had people walking up to him saying, can I please give you $2 million to invest in your business right now? And so having that right offer, understanding how all those mechanics work, and being able to see those little things in a business that you can tweak adds so much more value.
Yeah, putting an offer together, it's an art, right? You can, if you can put it together in a way that's attractive, it's like, you could have the best hamburger in the world, right?
Yep.
But if you don't know how to market it well and package it up well and make it sparkly, no one knows about it. Like McDonald's do not make the best hamburgers in the world. However, they've been able to present their offer in a way that's attractive, right? That, the kids drive past, right? The golden arches. Putting and creating a really good offer, it's worth the time and the effort. One thing I've also found with our offer, though, is it changes as well. As the business grows, as you work with people, your offer, like us as humans, we grow and we change. So does our offer as we grow in our change. So know that nothing's set in cement, it's set in sand when you're starting to put these things together. But also people that think I have to have the perfect offer to go to market, they're missing opportunities to learn from the market by going to the market even with a messy offer to begin with.
And at the same time, if you spend a little bit of extra time crafting that offer, that core offer, you can add some referrals and bonuses and things like that.
Yeah.
But if that core offer is really good, then it's gonna convert. I'll give you an example. So with this company, the one with Walter, when we first combined and decided that we were going to be business partners, we spent 3 months trying to sell all 7 companies to people. And people would watch the demo and they'd be like, Johan, this is amazing. It's going to change my life. It's going to change my business. And I'd call them back 2 weeks later. I said, hey, I thought you said it was amazing. Why did you not sign up? They said, because I need to hire 3 people to run the software. I went, oh, wow. Okay, cool. So that was good feedback. So for 3 months, we struggled to sell it. Our conversion rate was 5%, like 5%. It absolutely sucked. And so then we went back and called all the people who did sign up and said, why? Which part of our software are you using the most? And they said the leads. So now our core offer, went from a 1.5 hour presentation to 1 sentence.
Yes.
Hey, Sally, would you pay $300 a month for me to put 1,000 qualified leads in front of you every month? It's an irresistible offer, right?
Yep.
For any business. And they're like, Yes. And now our conversion rate went up to 80% because it was just that.
One
I'll get you
sentence.
it.
Yes.
1,000 qualified leads for $300 every month, right in front of you, looking at your offer and engaging with your business. $300. What? What's the catch? No catch. Irresistible offer. So that's
Yeah.
how creating that offer, it literally took 8 months to get to that point, to create that sentence.
Yeah, but it's working with the people, right? It's actually, so we do a thing called message mining where when people start and maybe they've only got an idea, we go out and we talk to the ideal client that we believe we want to work with or our clients want to work with. Then they start working with them and they start getting clients. We never stop message mining. As soon as people buy, we ask, why did they buy? Then, 3 to 6 months later, what are they using the most? What are they getting the most out of the program? And we also, those that got so close but didn't, we will also interview them to find out what their objections are. So through our messaging, we can ensure that we're trying to overcome those objections before they actually become sort of cemented in the people. So message mining, which is something we teach, is a ever evolving thing that actually is part of our business model. New client, message mining. 6 months later, another message mining, so that we can continuously, hone in. Look, at the beginning, big leaps and bounds. Eventually, it's just tiny little tweaks. But now you've got that secret sauce. I'll give an example to you as well. Like we had one client who was a fashion consultant. And she had a lead magnet out there and she was teaching people how to dress based on their body shape and style. And she was getting about 10 leads a day through Facebook ads. And she was super excited because she was getting 10 leads a day. And I'm like, yeah, but the amount of people that are clicking or looking and viewing to the click-throughs is just not right. Like the numbers can be better. So we looked at her headline and I thought to myself, it's fashion. People like perfection when it comes to fashion and style. And we changed one word. We pulled a power word in, the word perfect. How to dress perfect for your body shape. She went to bed, woke up 400 leads while she slept.
Wow.
One word change, just thinking about the ideal client, what they're really looking for, because people who wear makeup and, want fashion are trying to make everything look perfect. And then she ended up having to turn the funnel off because she couldn't keep up with the amount of inquiries she was having.
What a fantastic story.
Yeah, so it's just finding the right thing and always keep testing until you hit that winner. Don't go and build anything new. Like we literally didn't change her lead magnet ever. Nothing in the internals changed. It was just the way we offered that product or that lead magnet. And we just kept tweaking it until we hit gold. And so many people you see, don't they? They make one thing, oh, it doesn't work. Go make something else. Oh, it doesn't work. It's like the thing itself works. It's just your offer and your message. Once you get that down, it's a license to print money when you've got it down. But most people don't put the time in, right?
Correct.
All right, my final sparkle question for you is who are 3 people that have been a huge help to support and inspire you along the way?
My wife. She is absolutely incredible at what she does. She's my rock. She's my everything. She's my number one supporter.
Oh, so good.
and she's an incredible businesswoman. And so that's one of the reasons why we get along so well, is because we have that in common and we're always there to share ideas. Her, of course, everyone, my parents, they're amazing, and my family, and my business partners. They give me the energy every morning when I wake up. It's what's up, brothers, and then I wake up to all these sorts of happy messages, and then I'm going to sleep. It's like, this is what we achieved today, da, 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 da. And all of that just refuels you every morning when I wake up. Every night I go to sleep with the big smile on my face, going, "How blessed am I to be in this situation?" So.
Oh. How beautiful. I love that. All family and business like partners. Look, I love my mum dearly. I do. I love my mum. But when I started this business, what I got from my mum was stop working so much and look after your husband. She's definitely doesn't have an entrepreneurial bone in her body. Now that the business is successful, she's like all in. But before that, it was like, just look after your husband. But I was the first woman to actually like start a business in like all of my mum, grandparents, all of the previous generations were nothing, not that there's anything wrong with this, stay-at-home parents, mums, husbands, wives, putting the socks on of the husband and all the things like, no.
Putting the socks on, wow.
Literally, yes. They wake up, put the socks on the husband, set the food on the table, all the things. I had the female guilt coming up when I first started because that's what I was brought up in. You know, you look after your man. Now my man, he does it all. He washes, he cooks, he cleans, he does all the driving. So, you know, role reversal, but he still works full time. But I'm hiring a housekeeper. I'm on the interview process, so he doesn't have to do that anymore. She can come in 3 hours a day, run around, so he can spend more time in the garden.
Best decision ever.
I know. I can't wait. I've got about 3 more interviews to go, and then I'll start, you know, trialing some of them. So I can't wait because he's supported me with his full-time job for so long. Oh, look, everyone knows the hashtag, everyone needs a Danny. Right? But he supported all this crazy. We just celebrated our wedding anniversary, and he loves cards. Like, I don't have to buy him a present as long as I buy him a card. And I said, thank you for supporting all the crazy, and I'm going to get even more crazy. And he's looked at me and he's like, more crazy? And I'm like, yeah, baby. But at least I can now afford to hire a housekeeper so he can, like, you know, do what he can play on the cars. He loves to play with cars and in the garden. Well, Johann, thank you so much. Now, for anyone out there who has really been inspired by Johann, you would like to go and stalk him on the socials. Where is the best place for people to find you? Where do you like to hang out?
Yeah, for sure. Facebook. If you just type in Business Authorities, you'll find the group. Join the group, and that's where I am. Yep. You can connect with me through there.
Excellent. Well, if you go and reach out to Johann, join his community, let him know you're a sparkler. And yeah, he's amazing. We always have lots to chat about and have lots of fun. And I just want to say, so we had another person lined up for the interview today, and they had to cancel. And I'm like, well, we have to have our 3. And Johann's like, yeah, let's rock, Sally. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And Ma was like, oh, good, thank goodness, because she was like, what am I going to do? I've got this big hole in the day. So thank you so much for, like, at short notice yesterday, saying yes, getting all the things into Ma. I really appreciate you and your time, and I hope everyone's been inspired by your story today.
And thank you to you and your team. What an easy experience. And Ma, you know, she just sent me the email. It was click, 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 done. Systemization to the T. Well done.
Yay, systems. We love it. Yeah, Ma's amazing. Thank you so much, Joyce. Yes, and look, my team are amazing, and thank you so much, Johann. So, guys, we have just had the this button here. Where is it? Here? No, here? No, not there. All right, so we've just had a great chat with Johann, right? Next up, we have Louise. She'll be coming at the top of the next hour. So just set your timer. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the events, just head there, right? Head there and you'll be able to make sure you don't miss out on any of our podcast batching days. They happen usually on the 3rd Friday of the month. Yes, we're on the wrong Friday or Thursday, depends on where you are in the world, but usually it happens then. You can also register for reminders as well. I'm going to have to get my bot lady onto Dr. Sparkle. For those who want to get onto the lives and not miss out on the lives, we're going to set up Dr. Sparkle to remind you at the top of the hour as well. But if you head there, you can subscribe to the calendar, put it in your calendar, and turn it into a reminder of yourself. Right? Little ding dings going off so you don't miss us at the top of the hour. Come in, ask questions. Yes, our beautiful Ma. And ask questions and be inspired by this amazing lineup that we have. But thank you so much, Johann. It's been wonderful having you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let us rock out.
will not bow down. Keep putting me off, I'm not gonna change my mind. You're headstrong forward, but this time around I'm taking my time.